Ron Kinsley, Mark Helwig, Ed Peters, Chris Rusk,
Here.
Brian Bissonette. You have a quorum. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item is certification compliance with open meeting laws.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Number 5 is the meeting agenda. The agenda is set. Number 6, we have public comment. I received an email last evening and a nice lady asked if she could speak and read a letter to the committee, and I told her she could. Nancy?
Nancy Schreier, 10777 North Namakagon Lane, Hayward, Wisconsin. Thank you for letting me read this letter to you. It's recognizing the importance of the Sawyer County Airport expansion. Just as our highway systems need to be updated, we recognize that airports also require infrastructure projects to ensure the safety and success. However, after reviewing the extensive Sawyer County Airport expansion plan, we have some grave concerns to share with you. I don't know how many of you have studied that plan. I have. It takes a long time to read and digest, and it's complicated, especially to lay people. But here's the issue. So we know that the Sawyer County Airport in Hayward is owned and operated by Sawyer County and managed and by contracted airport manager Derek Leslie. It's currently classified as a local GA, a general aviation airport within the National Plan of Integrated Airport Systems. Late September, I heard a rumor about the airport expansion and wanting to buy the property at the corner of at the intersection of Hospital Road and Airport Road for new hangars. I went to that owner of that property in October and was told that an offer had not been officially made yet. So then I called the manager of the airport to ask him about the plans. I took notes. He explained to me that there is a master plan established and there will be 4 meetings, 2 private, which included the airport and the people who needed to be included, I guess, and 2 to be announced that the public will be invited to. I asked him about moving the airport road, and he told me, he said, yes, moving Airport Road is a natural thing to do, and that the Williamson property is ready to harvest, and they will sell to the airport. When I told him we lived at the end of Namakagon Lane, and what would happen to our home, he answered, the airport will get it one way or another. It's a federal program. So this is my 3rd time coming to this meeting and talking with Mr. Kingsley. I did a little synopsis of the introduction of the Sawyer County Airport expansion plan. And here's what it said. Sawyer County and the Wisconsin Department of Transportation Bureau of Aeronautics have contracted with an airport consulting firm, Kaufman Associates, to undertake the airport master plan found at, and you can see the website there. The master plan was established in May of 2023, according to page 47 of the inventory section of the master plan, and involves what may be reasonably expected to occur soon, 5 years, intermediate term 10 years, and long term 20 years. Phase 1's completed and phase 2 is currently under development and will be presented at a February 24th, 2024 meeting. The time and date have yet to be announced. In short, the current Sawyer County Airport Master Plan proposes a status change from the current medium general airport to a large general airport status, which generally serve serves as a domestic transportation center according to Table 1E of the Airport Expansion Plan, page 9 of Section 1. According to the Wisconsin State Airport System Plan 2030, Sawyer County Airport is currently classified as a medium GA, general airport. And in the current Sawyer County Airport Master Plan presented May 23rd, plans to become a large GA by 2030. The classification of general airports comes from the source, Wisconsin State Airport System Plan 2030. Small GA airports primarily support single-engine GA aircraft, but may also accommodate small twin-engine GA aircraft and occasional business aircraft activity. That's the cable airport. Medium GA airports support most single and multi-engine GA aircraft, including those commonly used by businesses, and these airports support regional and in-state transportation needs. That's the current Sawyer County Airport Plan in Hayward Airport. Large GA airports support all GA aircraft, including daily operations of all types of business jets, These airports generally serve as domestic transportation centers and may support international business activity. That's the Waukesha County Airport. The only large GA in Wisconsin is currently the Waukesha County Airport. 2023 census population of Waukesha County, 412,105. And that is what the Sawyer County Airport Master Plan states it is aspiring to become. As of note, the 2023 census population for Sawyer County is 18,587, with a projected growth to 19,158 by 2043, a 3% growth. The FAA maintains a database of public use airports, and Table 1 on page 7 of the inventory section of this master plan indicates that Waukesha County Airport is a national airport classification. Sawyer County Airport is currently a local classification, but the master plan goal, again, is to become Waukesha County. Those of us living on the river and on Namakagon Lane are very concerned and ask your support to address the following: the human and natural resource impact of the airport expansion plan, the irrevocable damage to the Namakagon River as a national scenic waterway, the environmental threats to the area, the wetlands, the visual character of the existing landscape, the light pollution, the noise pollution, the greenhouse gas emissions, also the economic cost and the return of investment to the county, and lastly, the impact of taking our homes. Also regarding the complexity of the airport expansion plan, the difficulty in finding the plan, and the astounding lack of knowledge in the general public has regarding the plan. Almost no one knows about this. We respectfully ask to make the plan more available to the public prior to that February meeting so that the public can digest just what this plan entails. Thank you.
Anybody else care to speak? You care to speak, sir? Thank you. Is there anybody online? No. Number 7, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting of November 8th. Motion by Mr. Peters, second by Mr. Bissonnette to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Maintenance Department report. Mr. Hagberg has a written report for us to review. Anybody had a chance to look at it? Do you have any questions? He does call me prior to the meeting and asks me if I have any concerns, and he kind of brings me up to speed where things are at. I think he does a nice job. We'll move on to number 9, Sawyer County Airport. Letter A. Mr. Leslie.
Any questions on the report to start? Can
Okay.
summarize if you wish.
You want to highlight things?
December operations so far in the last 10, 12 days have kind of come to a screeching halt, which is pretty common this time of year. Things slow down to only a few flights a day, possibly none if the weather doesn't cooperate. Tim had in his report, and I know that it's on letter B about the snow removal stuff, so we could skip that for now. One big thing to keep in mind is that we are still tracking the runway rehabilitation project. And now we're kind of in a hiatus on that. There's been an unbelievable amount of effort that's gone into getting that project ready for construction, but when it got postponed last year, the state wasn't able to come up with the funding. Now we're just, we're not doing anything right now. We still haven't held the 90% design review meeting, although the engineers are ready for that. But usually they don't hold the 90% review meetings until, a few months before they're ready to go out for bid for the projects. But, this runway rehab project, I mean, we probably started working on it, I don't know, 4 years ago. And I know we've had a lot of communications done with the committee, even the committee and board members from the last round of 2 years. And that's going to go again now into next year. So we're going to have to probably, if we do get new committee members for any reason in the spring, we'll have to probably give another explanation again as to where we're at in this project. Everything has been approved for it. It's in our CIP. Our runway needs to be redone. It's not a full reconstruction project. It's just a rehab. So basically what they're doing is they're just grinding it all up and laying it back down again. And I wouldn't say it's a Band-Aid. I mean, we're going to get a good runway when it's done, but it's not a long-term 20-year runway.
We know roughly how long it takes to do that.
We're going to be shut down for 45 business days.
45 business days.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of discussions, spring or fall. It seems like the state's desire is to do the projects in the spring because inherently in the fall, it seems like every other year, winter comes too fast and then you really get hampered. And with a runway, it's so important to have good weather and to not have, rain days when they're paving. So it's probably going to be, in the weeks preceding road bans coming off, all of May, all of June, and possibly into July. And that's going to be, as we get closer to that, there's going to have to be a lot of correspondence with the airport users, the tenants, so people can relocate their aircraft. But we're not there yet. We're still over a year out from probably even a bid date. So we will, have 90% design review. Andy and I'll probably both be in on that, and we'll advise the committee when we get to it. But I just want to keep tracking that at the committee level. So, it's here, it's on record that people know that that's still happening in the background.
Right.
Can we go to B?
I want to ask you something, please.
Go ahead.
In your report, it's got on the master plan website is up to date on progress thus far. No, I haven't taken time to look in there, but that's the whole study that's presently going on.
Correct. As was recited earlier this evening, there's hundreds of pages on that website, and it's all pretty much PowerPoint. The website, the Kaufman Associates, they are at the top of their field. I mean, they're a nation-leading consultant firm for master plan. So the website is, while it's a lot of information, it kind of has an introduction, and they really do a good job, in my opinion, bringing you in, and explaining, from the beginning what a master plan is, who are the people who are involved in a master plan. It's a lot though, especially for somebody who doesn't have a lot of airport knowledge. It could be a lot to take in. It's a lot for me to take in.
Well, we all live and learn as we go, but do we have a date yet, February, when we're gonna have a public?
We talked about it extensively today. Obviously, there's been a lot of discussion recently. One of the things that I think is, would be a really good idea, and I've talked with Andy about this as well, is our consultant Kaufman is going to be building out flyers, with graphics that can get put in the paper for the public meetings.
Prior to.
And one of the things that I talked about, I was down at the courthouse today to meet with land records, and Lynn wasn't in the office, but I think what we're gonna try to do is we're actually gonna get all the adjacent property owners to the airport and addresses and actually physically mail each and every individual around the airport the invite to go to the public meeting for the master plan.
So the
Um,
public meeting master plan will be not in conjunction with the public works, it'll be a separate meeting?
correct.
I mean, you could do it in conjunction with
Well,
Public Works meeting, especially if the committee wants to be a part of it. We would schedule a Public Works meeting concurrent with it.
what I meant, and that, I don't wanna come here at 6:30 and wanna have a meeting, it's gonna be 4 or 5 hours long.
Yeah,
Can I just add to Derek's comments to what's on the website is the drafts of the chapters as the consultant is putting them together. So there's three chapters that they've put up that they've, primarily it's technical data that they've compiled based on what's happening at the airport, what the forecasts are based on current traffic, and then also just general aviation background as to what the trends are for aircraft, not necessarily here, but just the classifications and bringing in the industry data, and then just general data on the facility or what's there so far. So as they pull those drafts together, they put those in there. And I guess I just wanted to touch on, like, there's no goals of the county or the airport in here. Maybe what's listed is based on current traffic and trends within the industry is what they project could happen.
But there's no input from the county itself present.
No.
well, kind of. I mean, we have Andy and Mark serving on that pack.
Yeah, but we're not giving them any direction on
No.
wants or needs or things we are asking for or expecting.
Thank you.
I guess the tone of saying that these are master plan meetings, I think it would have been helpful if this was, from what I'm understanding now, if this was gathering, this stage is gathering information.
Mhm.
It's not making decisions, because those decisions have to come through this committee and the county board. And we have to make sure that that's clearly understood by everybody, that this isn't something that is being worked on in order to make the decisions beforehand that we just rubber stamp. So I think that's something that I personally have been concerned about, but I think that that's causing more ruffling of feathers than it needs to be, because I think it just needs to be stated that, yes, there's a lot of information that needs to be gathered as this starts, but the decision-making is going to occur coming up here. Is that correct?
Well, yes, short answer is yes, be coming up, but even beyond that, I think we need to have a conversation with the committee and the consultant when we get to the point of having a more completed document. And they're going to they're going to talk about, this is what's happening here, this is what's happening in the industry, here's the potential for the airport, and they're going to have alternatives, not that the county needs to pursue or do anything in there. Some of them are going to be, we already had some conversations based on safety, just with the size of planes and the thresholds and all that. Business opportunities will be a part of that. And I think based on a couple conversations, I'm seeing how some of these things evolve, that there is a plan from 20 years ago that had some things in it that were never done, but those ideas are out in the wind already from 20 years ago. And so I think that's maybe some conclusions people are drawing that we're gonna go down those roads again. And it's not in my position to say, take that out. We're not gonna talk about that. That's gonna be at the committee level. But yeah, and then even the document, when we get to that point, you know, I think part of the conversation I want to have with the consultant or in the Bureau of Aeronautics is we get a complete document. And if you've went through comprehensive planning, it's a little bit different animal because that's all land use. And at the end of those plans, the county had to adopt it and then implement it. This, you could end up with a plan that has a bunch of things in it you're not going to do, but they're still in the document. And do you accept it, or do you pick the things out of it that you want? I mean, after it's done, you're gonna potentially pick this or that out of it that the county ends up pursuing, and then that's a whole nother level of approvals and going through petitions with the Bureau of Aeronautics and public hearings for those things.
Just letting you know that Mr. Helwig is in the meeting now.
Thank you.
To give you an idea, sir, I brought down, this is a copy of our 1996 master plan that we did. And this is really, this plan, I know that our consultants have it. And I know that other people around the county, I have it. And a lot of what we're looking at the airport is, you know, the same things that are in here from 20 years ago, or almost 20 years ago. Now, well, no, it'd be almost 30 years. 1996, sorry. A lot of the same things that are discussed in the old plan are going to be pertinent in our new plan as well. You know, the airport had done expansion in the past. With our ILS project in 2013, 2014, there were 3 property acquisitions, and I believe 3 or 4 property acquisitions, and then another 3 or 4 navigation easement acquisitions. You know, so anytime the municipality looks at potentially doing a project at the airport, you know, looking at your boundaries, discussing, you know, what you have to work with for square footage and real estate, you know, that's the purpose of the master plan, is to look at what the options are 10 years down the road. You know, and I think that's where the misconception is with a lot of people, is that this is not an expansion plan. It's a master plan, and we're, you know, it's our job to look at what options there are in the future. And that's the big thing. And that's probably where the step that we are at now. And that's why we try to get this done prior to public involvement, because when we do public involvement, there will be maps, you know, that have been designed by the consultants and engineers that show what the alternates are for potential growth at the airport in the future. I'm at the airport 5 days a week. We're there 7 days a week. I would invite folks to come out to the airport, board supervisors especially, if they have concerns, if they want to talk to me or Andy about it, if there's other people that are taking phone calls. I believe I need to be maybe a little more careful about some of the things that I've been saying personally. But like I said, we do have, you know, a study from 96 that can be reviewed, and the website it's very detailed. A big thing for people to understand is that we have to do this master plan. It's not an option. Like, if we want to continue getting federal funding in the future to help continue supporting the airport, the FAA requires us to do this. It's not something that we elected to do. It's something that we really, really have to.
Thank you. Mr. President.
So Derek, and I'm not even sure what local jurisdiction is the airport in? Is it city or is it
Town of Hayward.
The town of
town of
Hayward.
Hayward? And then, so the town of Hayward, I assume, did their smart growth update. And so is there conflicts in their smart growth plan with what's going in the master plan?
It's a good question. You know, we haven't done a lot of involvement with the town over the years. When we did our most recent expansion plan, you know, we relocated the town road, a big chunk of it. And then we had the county then took on doing all the easements for the utilities down the road. I mean, it was an extensive process, but I guess I'm not sure if I can remember if the town had to vote to approve the moving of the town road. I don't think so.
I would
But-
say now if it came in front of, if you're gonna move a town road now, it's
Town
town
road.
road. The town.
It has to come in front of the town. Yeah, I would assume so as well, but I was never involved with that, the last time in 2013. But, and that might be another thing that we want to take into consideration too, is, I haven't had much communication with the town. I work with the fire department. I have to speak with Bryn every once in a while. Gary's pretty well versed on what the airport is. He sat at committee meetings for decades listening to us ramble on about the airport. So I believe that now that Gary's a chairman, that he should have a good understanding as to how things work, but maybe we want to invite the town in. Just because it's in the town's jurisdiction, what the county decides to do with the airport, I guess I'm not sure what weight the town has in on that, but if we're talking about relocating town assets or infrastructure, then that obviously changes. Yeah.
Good discussion.
Yeah, it was just out of curiosity because, I mean, I helped with Lakota Ray's smart growth plan 20-some years ago. And I know the 9 elements that were in the smart growth plan. And so I didn't know, I would be curious to see what their transportation element addresses in regards to this.
Well, they used to own the airport. I could tell you that. The town owned the
Used
airport
is
back in the
key.
day. But I keep going on. I'm sorry.
All right, good discussion about the airport plan. We need to get the public as well versed in knowledge as we can as we move forward. Go to letter C, new hangar lease.
I was going to talk about B.
Okay,
You want to talk about B at all?
go ahead.
Obviously, the Thompson deal was a game changer for all of us, and I have to once again call Tim out for all of his hard work. And I know that Andy worked really hard too, trying to negotiate contracts with contractors. We now have Shane Cryer and his outfit under contract for plowing out at the airport, and they seem to be very eager to get out there, and they're excited about the job. And they've got a pretty big fleet of equipment, and it's growing, and lots of operators. We've struggled plowing the airport out efficiently over the years. Thompson's did a great job, and I just hope that, Cryers could follow suit. We're certainly getting better at it, least from operations, on the county side of, knowing what we want. That's a big part of it too. But like I said, Tim's worked really hard, and I know that he carved out a section of the real estate in the maintenance garage for sand, because we had some issues with that as well. And I certainly appreciate the hard work that he does.
Questions? Let's go to C then, please. Who gets to handle it?
I'll handle it. This is C, right?
Yeah.
So we've got a couple leases expiring next year. Lynn's been doing a great job of getting these put together. These are both they're new leases, but for existing tenants, putting them under the essentially the new lease terms that the county's adopted and the standard lease. So we try to get these approved and out well ahead of time so that the tenants are aware. And most of them are aware, but so that they can adjust. And then we do a pro rata payment to start with, and then all the leases now are set to renew on the first of the year. This one, I wanted to ask for one amendment or exception. At the bottom of page 2 of the lease, it says at no time shall lessee store any flammable material except for fuel in the aircraft. This particular hangar, I understand, has a plane in it that does not use any of the fuel that we have available at the airport. It uses MoGas. It doesn't use 100 low lead or jet. So we will stipulate that they can store fuel for their fuel for the aircraft, not just the fuel that's in the aircraft. They'll be able to store fuel in approved containers
Yeah,
in their hangar. So we'll be making that edit to the lease.
you get that, Lynn?
Okay.
No.
That's the request, correct?
Yes, as far as airport management side of things and operations, Cliff Korn, Mr. Petrich, as well as the Lund family, they're pillars of the aviation community. There's airplanes in the hangars. They're doing the things that, would be expected from hangar owners at public use airports. So I would recommend that the county give the hangar owners new leases.
Wishes of the committee.
On airport hangar lease. With the changes of.
Motion by Mr. Peters, second by Mr. Bissonnette to approve the lease contract report. Any discussion?
That'll include the edits, right?
Yes. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I haven't seen Mr. Corn in quite a while. He used to come to our meetings. Does it help?
Last I heard, he was on vacation. Cliff and I have been talking a little bit more recently, but I think that he's doing well. We got a few different people at the airport that have been not doing so well recently, though.
He called me this week and and I explained the process and he's very satisfied.
Thank you. Let's go to letter D.
This is another new lease for an existing tenant to put them onto the updated lease. It's the Allen and Joan Lund Revocable Trust, and no additional comments there. The lease as is good as far as we know.
Questions, concerns? Wishes of the committee?
I'll make a motion to approve the hangar ground lease agreement for Alan W. and Lois J. Lund.
I'll second that.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bissonnette, second by Mr. Rusk to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Leslie. Number 10, Highway Commissioners Report.
Thank you. The crews are still continuing with our brushing and storm damage cleanup. Stay brushing, and we're currently on 27 South, down to Russ County line and 70. We finished out in front of the winter shop. County brushing left to complete. We have completed County GG since then. EE, M, and W, which we are currently working on right now. We've had a couple small snow and ice storms that we been out on, and we're also still continuing mixing sand salt at the Hayward shop. Our WDF storm damage cleanup is due to the state by January 1st. The current reimbursement as of now is $160,000 that we'll be getting back for that.
Will we get that done by that time frame?
We're gonna be really close. We didn't hit the mark what we were allotted, but we're gonna be close to getting our roads cleaned up.
Thank you.
I sent out winter maintenance policies and procedures to both the Sawyer County Record and the Gazette for the upcoming article. It should be in the paper this week and also posted on our Sawyer County Highway Department Facebook page. Road ratings I completed last week and have been sent to the state. I added the current list of future funded projects that are currently going on. I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at that, if you have any questions on those. As of right now, some of them got moved back. The C Bridge still will be going in 2024. The Double C Bridge redeck got pushed back to 2025, which really isn't a terrible thing because we might get better funding out of it now, kind of like we did the C Bridge. So County D Bridge still on track. County E is still up in the air right now, depending on the state. It's either going to be in 26 or 27. And the County B project, Chippewa Trail, is still on course to be on 2025. Projects that I have applied for is the County B, Stress Lane around Lake School. That's including the roundabout. We should hear something back from the state, but hopefully by the end of January on that. There's a few other projects that I'm going to be applying for here. Otherwise, the RT Vision, we're gonna go live Monday. We had to move our date back a week. We're still having a few issues with imports to chems, which we worked on today. I think we're gonna have them all figured out by tomorrow, so that's a big step. Just before the state salt domes in Hayward and Radisson, we'll be getting a new roof on each dome after July of next year. Right now, I'm also getting quotes for the garage door, the overhead doors, because the one in Radisson is broken, the one in Hayward does not work. I gotta get those quotes over to Mike at the state. He's gonna try to include those into the budget. We hired a new watchman. Our current watchman, he didn't like the hours. So we actually hired a new watchman. He's gonna start Monday, so he'll be on call starting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 8 till 6, I believe. He was a former employee from the county highway department, so that's a good positive thing. We still, actually, right now, we don't have any vacancies. We're fully staffed in all locations, and plus our night watchman. And once our night watchman, in March 31st, when the night watchman shift ends, he's gonna become a full-time employee in Hayward, so. And that's all I got on my report. Any questions?
Good job. Let it be winter maintenance budget. Not that we can do anything about it, but
It's actually, so I looked at that tonight, we're at about, 677,000 out of our 635, so we're a little bit over budget, but I did a 5-year average, and our 5-year average over the last 5 years is 692, so we're not too bad, and we did increase it for next year, so I think we're gonna be fine.
anything that you can share about the roundabout?
Yeah, actually, the state did reach out last week and wanted to, what was this? They did reach out, wanted to make sure that, we included, pricing for 2028 construction, so that's always a good sign when they reach out and ask, so
2028?
it's promising, yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, I do have a meeting with LCO with Jordan, St. Germain and Jason Weaver tomorrow, to discuss other funding opportunities for the B&K roundabout, so.
Good.
That's all I had on the roundabout.
Anybody have any questions regarding that? Letter D. Consider gravel pit site development of land, discussion, possible action.
So we're, county's desperately in need for gravel. We currently only have four pits. We have the Kramer Triple Trail, which we call the Kramer Pit. We got one crushing left in there. The county double O pit, we just closed, or gonna be closing. The Peninsula Pit is just our sand pit for our salt sand mixture. We do have the Cis Pit. There is crushing left in there. I'm not sure how much. So we're looking at approval to move forward to open a gravel pit off of Highway 77 on the county land currently behind the Merotech pit right now. And it'd be great. I mean, the gravel would be used for the county road projects, trail maintenance, forestry department needs, along with sales to the townships. We did run into one little hiccup right now. I haven't put costs and anything together, what it's gonna cost, but Round Lake currently has a non-metallic license ordinance set back at 2,000 feet, which was amended to 3,000 feet for any mining activity. And currently we're at 2,200 feet. So we need Round Lake's approval. But we haven't heard anything back from them. We emailed them again today. So.
And how does that come into zoning? Is there any zoning concerns?
Yeah, well, not so much concerns, but we've had the meeting with forestry and zoning to go through the process. And we're bringing this to the Land Water Committee this morning because they're overseeing the forestry, and then this committee, basically to get the committee's go ahead to make application to the zoning committee for a non-metallic mine. They have to come up, prepare an operational plan, and I think a reclamation plan have to be done up front. Yeah, both have to be done up front and go through the town of Round Lake's process as well to get it permitted. So we're just seeking the committee's approval, to inform you, but also to get the go-ahead to make applications to pursue it.
Was there more you wanted to share?
No, that's pretty much everything.
Yes, but I think you assumed that this is county forest land. We don't have to do anything to remove it, but because it's gonna be used for the county.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the county to go ahead with the gravel pit.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Helwig, second by Mr. Russ to approve, move forward the gravel pit procedures. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, John. Number 11, courthouse remodel update.
Unfortunately, well, I guess there is some update. We'll be having a call with them yet this week. We have two main items that are still hanging out there, the floors, the concrete floors. Since last meeting, you can see out in the lobby where they tried to come in and resurface those. They didn't meet the quality was not good from the original work. What they did to fix the problem actually made it worse. So they'll be coming back in January to do it again. And then the other bigger item is the HVAC system in this building has never fully functioned. And obviously we opened it up in the summertime, so we had some air conditioning. Then we got a heating system. It's never been fully functional. We've had Johnson Controls here, KB Key, the contractor, and they're still working on it yet this week. But we're trying to come to an agreement with Myron on closing out everything else and just leaving those two items open because they would like to, and we would like to get things kind of wound down here. But we don't want to sign off because as soon as we sign off, then everything going forward becomes warranty work. To us, this is still construction. This is installation out after the fact warranty work. So we'll be having an agreement and figuring out how much to keep as a retainer, and then the rest we can pay the contractor and start to get closer to closing out the project. There was a third item as far as concrete outside with curbs. That's all been taken care of, and we've agreed to the finish outside.
Is there anything that you can share about ventures with us? Or?
Nothing at this point. Since the HVAC is somewhat tied into that, we would just.
All right.
I didn't put it on specifically on this agenda, and I'll remind me, Lynn, to put it on for next month. We never did close the discussion earlier this year about ribbon cutting and the plaque in the lobby and what you want to do about all of that. So.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Put an agenda next month. We need to do something for the community. Something, Number 12, future agenda items. Is there any more hangers that'll be coming, or is this takes care of all of them for 24?
That should take care of 24.
I think we have one in 25.
I
Yep.
think you're right.
And then I think there's one every year for a few years.
And on the agenda for next month also is we want to keep abreast of the airport master plan, and if we get dates that we can get published out to the public.
I guess, do we just want to have an agenda item for the master plan just moving forward? Probably a good idea.
Yes.
I just wanted to let, too, that the section on County Road B from Fire Lane 319 to Muskie Tail Resort, the ATV section that's been open forever and they've been running the ditches, is now signed and open.
Oh.
So.
Good. Thank you. All right. So that's future agenda items. Number 13, correspondence, reports, conferences, and other meetings. After or right around the county board meeting last month, I received 2 envelopes, and they had letters in them from, I believe the envelope said they came from the Hayward School, and made copies handed out to the committee members. What do you want to do with that kind of stuff? Do you want to put it on the agenda for next month so we could talk about it? Obviously, we can't talk very much about it because we don't have it listed. But I wanted to bring it to your attention. First, I was just going to answer them. I thought, well, it's not my place to answer them without knowing what the committee's responsibility is or input. Any thoughts on how you want to handle it? Yeah.
I guess my question is, what generated these letters? That's, was it an assignment, or is it something that they've gleaned from parents and discussions in their communities?
What do they pertain to?
Pardon?
What do they pertain to?
One letter says they would like the ATV routes to be smoother so that tourists and residential people could ride them more if they're better taken care of. And the other letter is pertaining to a road in the town of Sand Lake. So why don't we put it on the agenda for next month? Then we can talk about it, see how we handle it.
Sounds good to me.
Is that acceptable?
Agreed.
All right, thank you. Nobody else, anything else? Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your time.